What is going down, everybody? How are you guys doing? That's great. That's wonderful. That's actually fantastic. I haven't said that in like 2 years. Hey man, first of all, merch, I'm sorry. It's still coming, and it's still coming very soon. Like, it's not gonna be some Teespring campaign. Like, this is an actual website that you'll go to and you can shop all the merch. So please bear with me. Once it drops, I'll probably be shoving it down your guys' throat anyway, so sorry. All right, you guys, so Halloween is already here. I don't care what you say, Halloween starts as soon as September begins. And you may or may not know, but every year since I've been on YouTube, I've always made some like Halloween themed videos. Last year was the short film. The year before that, I think it was like a Halloween skit. Let me correct, bro, what I'm about to light up. Let me correct myself. Last year was the short film, as well as all of the exploring abandoned locations and like trying to find ghosts and all of that, the main topic of this video. And you know what, it still holds true to me today. Like, Ghost Adventures is still my favorite TV show. I am still super fascinated about ghosts and the supernatural. So as you guys know, almost a year ago I launched my YouTube show called Paranormal Mystery, and that show got canceled quick. So in this video, I'm about to get into some real reasons why I canceled that show, why I no longer ventured out and try to find evidence of the paranormal. It's not because of the, oh, my best friends, our schedules didn't align. I use that excuse. It's not because of, oh, it got too cold outside. No, there's some real deep underlying issues that happened during that, and really a while after. You can believe what I'm about to tell you, or you cannot believe what I'm about to tell you. I've been on here too long to try to prove myself, to try to prove people wrong, to try to prove people right. It just hurts my head and hurts my chest thinking about it. At the time, I thought it was a brilliant idea, which I still think it is. I think it had incredible amounts of potential, and it was a lot of fun for me because I got to do something new, and I was expressing myself creatively behind the camera. You guys know I love doing videography, mainly cinematography. I'm a huge film junkie. It's just a part of my DNA, and I thought, why not? You know, I live a why not life. Shout out to Kevin Smith. Why'd I do that? You're not dead. You're probably over here somewhere. Shout out to Kevin Smith. So I would do some research online, try to find some haunted buildings. I would then go out and go to those locations and see if I can gain access, even if it means I'm breaking and entering. So the first episode, it had a location in there where I shot half of my short film, and I knew I could gain access into that building. Back in the early 1900s, I think it was like an old carnival, and then it turned into a factory where people produced, I think, batteries, and people have died there. And I've done my research, and I don't really remember, but sound like me in school. I did my research, teacher, but I don't remember nothing. Is it open book? I'm about to open fail. The first location in the first episode never had a good vibe to it, and the reason why I wanted to do it so bad is because when I was filming my short film there, we heard a loud bang coming from the second floor. We were on the third or fourth floor of the building, and it was in the middle of the night, and nobody else was in that building with us. No animals, no people. The shoot continued, and we were ready to get up out of there, but I went back like a week or two later, and I decided to shoot the first episode. Why I feel like I'm talking like backtracking, repeating I don't know. I'm inside that building with a couple friends of mine, and we're pretty much just going through and exploring things. And then it gets interesting when I took it to the next step. We went down in the basement, with the creepiest part of the building. We turned out all the lights, and I pulled out my digital audio recorder, and that's when I began to try to conjure up whatever may be there, whatever made that noise, to see if, you know, something would respond. And we got a response. Roll the clip.
Up until this point, we had captured no EVPs, but what happens next absolutely shocked us.
What was that, yo? Now, honest to God, my friends and I, we did not make that noise. If you listen closely, you can tell it happened from a distance. And when the lights went out, all of us were together. We were scared. So we were all like in a circle together, like I Am Legend. We were just chilling like, I'm scared. When that noise happened, it was an instant adrenaline rush, and all I could feel is just like, let's get out of here, let's get out of here. But I was doing it for the cameras and doing it for the show. Like, let's just stay here and let's see if we can go further with it. Pretty much, I was just being like, what was I doing? Like, that's not me. If something happens, I run. Like, I'm not staying, bro, no. But for you guys, I would risk getting possessed or something. But with some convincing, we did stick around for a little bit, and I was able to ask, like, who made that noise? Were you the same one who made that noise a few days ago or a couple weeks ago? Whenever it was, are you the same person or the same thing that made that noise? And we got an answer.
But could it be after I asked what was that fell, it says, hey, to let us know that it's the one that made the noise?
What was that? What was that fell, dude? What was that? What was that fell, dude? At the time, it was completely silent using our own ears, but once you went back and edited the footage, then you can definitely hear a voice, and that's when I was like, Honestly, you guys, editing those episodes were way scarier than actually being in like the location, because I always edit with my lights off so I can just see it better, and I have headphones in and I'm always alone. And it was just like I would hear that voice in my ear and I would feel like so paranoid, and I just felt like something was always following me. Now, I've always been sensitive to the other side, to the paranormal, whether you believe it or not. I've always felt like I could feel something. I'm not saying like I see dead people like nothing like that, but I always felt like I could feel a presence. I could feel things. I uploaded the first episode. The comments were amazing. The feedback was great. The views, of course, were very low, and I was like, look, I'm not going to continue to do this, you guys, if the views don't show for what I'm risking. And it kind of never did. And that's one of the reasons why I quit doing the show, because like I was really putting myself in serious danger, whether it's spiritual danger, whether it's physical danger, whether it is like getting in trouble by the police, getting caught. Like I was just putting myself in danger, and the views weren't really kind of making me feel validated. But the comments is what I went by, and the like button, and I was like, I'm gonna keep doing it. A few days passed. I do my research for an old insane asylum, Central State Hospital, which is one of the most haunted locations in all of America. And I was like, all right, we're gonna do this. And we don't know how we're gonna have access to it, because a lot of the underground tunnels, yes, underground tunnels, they kind of fell through over time. And yeah, but we were able to find an entry through the oldest building that's still standing. Now, this is the location that really messed me up, that I don't even know, like even talking about it, I kind of feel like I'm about to cry, bro. Like honestly, I start to feel like, you know, that little quiver in your lip and that little lump in your throat, like just by talking about it. Like I swear to you guys, I'm gonna cut it because I'm gonna tear up. A lot of the patients in Central State Hospital were mentally ill, and back then mental illness was not a thing. You were just a sissy, you were a girl, or if you were a girl, oh, we don't take you serious. Like mental illness was not a thing. They didn't believe in depression, anxiety, they didn't believe in schizophrenia, they didn't believe in anything that has to do with mental illness. So a lot of these patients were mistreated. They were tied up, they were chained up, they were beaten, they were killed by their caretakers. And there's just a lot of, like, when I was there, you guys, it was a lot of like an overwhelming sadness that just came over you. Like you felt so sad. And like I said, I've always been sensitive to feeling things. And like my other friends were like, yeah, we have this vibe, it's creepy in here, it doesn't feel right. But to me, I'm like something's attached to me, man. Like I am very sad. Like I just want to go into a corner and just face the corner and just not talk to anybody. And I felt like a patient, and that's what scared me so much. But I shut up, I didn't show it, I went on, and then we seen an orb. Does anybody else have like a headache?
I got a weird vibe.
I have a headache, dude, only on the right side of my head, like in the back.
As soon as I mention that I have a headache, an orb appears to come into frame to the left and then shoots straight up and vanishes. Now please keep in mind, this cannot be a lens flare because, well, lens flares don't work like that, and lens flares also don't follow a formation, opposed to this ball of energy appears to have its formation. And I find it really strange how I mentioned I have a headache, and once I did, the orb appeared to leave. Now could this be a spirit trying to use my energy to help itself manifest? I believe so.
I got a weird vibe.
People were like, oh, it's dust. Trust me, no, it's not. I felt my head have this pressure, like this insane amount, like it was going to explode. And all of a sudden, you can see an orb shoot out onto my camera. And it had this formation where it's not a dust particle. Like orbs have a certain formation that they follow because it's like a ball of energy. And it was just the way it was, the way it felt. I just felt weird, and that's when another person was like, yo, I don't feel good. Like they started to feel sick and have a headache, and I had a huge headache like that the rest of the night after I experienced and then that. We did an EVP session, which is an electronic voice phenomenon where you try to, you know, the digital recorder, you try to, you know, capture spirit voices.
It's clearly a male's voice, and we believe that it's saying, be good. Could this spirit be trying to tell us to be good while we were down there? Or could this be the residual energy of a staff member telling another patient to behave?
It wasn't so much visually scary for the people. It was one of those things that you just had to have been there to really feel like this is not right. Like this place needs to be burned down to the ground, and whatever's here needs to be exorcised or something, because it's not of this world, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So it was nighttime because it was starting to become winter, so it got dark around like 6 or 7 p.m. and I needed to capture B-roll. And what B-roll is basically footage that you play over music or your voice, kind of like establishing shots of the environment, of the location that you're doing. And I didn't have that because it was dark out and I couldn't get B-roll, so I had to go back the next day by myself to capture this B-roll. And there were people there painting the door, like one of the entrances. And so I was asking them questions like, who owns this? Because I wanted to go back. And that's the thing, like, you know that it's not right. You know you don't belong in there. Nothing belongs. No one belongs in there. But you have like this, I want to go back. Like, I want to go. And then you get deeper and deeper and deeper. And before you know it, you open up the doors to things that you shouldn't. But like 10 minutes after deciding a part 2 is going to happen, I got this overwhelming sense of sadness and a feeling that I wanted to kill myself. And I mean that. I was doing B-roll. I had my camera on a slider, and I was getting the entrance and the entrance where we went into like the tunnel down. It's hard to explain, but that's when I looked in there, and all you could see was like a dark abyss, right? And I just felt like all I could feel was sad. I wanted to punch something, and I wanted to kill myself. Like, I felt, even though I was out in the open, you know, and I was in around fresh air, and cars were driving by, I felt isolated. I felt like a patient. I felt like I wanted to hurt someone and then kill myself. And I felt like, honestly, since I've always been sensitive to feeling things, something attached itself to me. And I'm not gonna edit this. I'm just gonna let this play through. A couple days later, I would hear noises in my house that you can't explain. I would feel like I'm being watched, and I was thinking to myself, and I was telling myself, like, it's paranoia. You're just paranoid, man. You just edited this video, you got this evidence. But it was more than that. You know, a week went by, and I still felt something was attached to me wherever I went, like it was sitting on my shoulder. And I didn't feel myself. Relationships began to suffer. A lot of bad things started to happen in my life. A lot of bills started to pile up. A lot of financial struggles, a lot of channel struggles, a lot of just me, myself, and I struggles. And I just felt like I opened the door to something that was feeding off of my energy, and it was just oppressing me, it was depressing me, it was dragging me down, and I just didn't feel like myself. I felt isolated. I felt like a patient even after I've been home for a week and 2 weeks and 3 weeks. I didn't feel the same. But me being me, I wanted to go back to another location which was like 45 minutes away, an old school, which people have said like they've seen figures in the windows and all that stuff. I was like, I want to go there. So we ended up going there, and there was people still awake, and there was a house like literally 20 yards away from it, and they seen us through the window, so we got scared like the cops are gonna get called. Let's just not go. And it was really snowy outside, really cold, and the only entrance was like through a window that had a desk underneath it, and the window was just, we would have definitely broke the window trying to get through. So we were just like, let's just skip it. And after that, I still felt the same way. A month later, I was like, this is not good. Not only were the views on these episodes not worth it, it was also just, it's attacking me. Like, whatever it is, it's bringing me down. It is depressing me, and it is oppressing me. And I was just kind of tired of it, you know? And it took me a while to shake it. It took me at least 2 to 3 months for me to shake whatever that was, to kind of just get over it and to kind of just get back to myself. But I felt like I haven't recovered since maybe a couple months ago. And that was, what, 10 or 11 months ago? So I felt like I'm just now getting back to myself. I just kind of, I don't know, man. Talking about it, I feel like I'm about to just ruin myself for another couple months. But that's why I stopped doing it, man. Because there was just something like on my back, you know? I didn't feel myself. And people were emailing me, because I put an ad on Craigslist telling people like, hey, if anybody owns any haunted properties, let us know. Not houses. We don't want personal haunting. We want like old abandoned locations, because that was the point of the show. We weren't like some serious ghost investigators. We weren't going to go in people's houses and try to determine whether or not your house is haunted. But people were hitting us up. Driving home from that location, the school that we didn't get access to, this guy had emailed me and said, my house, something's in here. And he gave me his number, and I called him. And I was like, hey, what's going on? We would love to stop by and do this. Even though we were against it at the time, we were like, we're not going to someone's house. That's personal. Like, that could be someone's family member. That could be something personal. Like, we don't want to get involved in that. But I talked to him, and he was like, he's sending me pictures of orbs and sending me a picture of a like a silhouette of a person standing in a door in his doorway in the middle of the night. And I was like, yo, bro, I don't know. So I said, you know what, get back to me in the email. We'll discuss a rate, because obviously he was gonna pay me for that. And we'll go from there. And I never responded back to him, because that's when I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm done with this. I'll watch it on TV, I'll watch movies, and you know, maybe I'll do it this summer. I'll come back with it when it's warmer outside, but no. So with all this being said, I would love to continue Paranormal Mystery. I know that sounds crazy, but I would love to continue it. I just I'm waiting for something to happen. Let's just say a change of scenery. All right, I'm waiting for that to happen, and I'll be able to bring in other guests. I don't want to give out my ideas because I don't want it to be taken, but I'll be doing other things along these lines. All right, just stay patient with me. And what would you guys do, man? Would you guys have the courage, and would you guys have the desires to do what I did for, even if it was 2 episodes? All right, it was a lot that went into it, a lot of research, a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, a lot of all of this stuff to gain access, because I wanted to do it the right way. I didn't want to just like, oh, I'm gonna break into this window and get in there and do it for the do it for the vine. No. Would you guys have done it? You know, like maybe just one time, and then you were like, I'm gonna do it again, and then that's when you start to experience things, and it followed you home, and it started to just feel like you were just isolated and secluded from everything in life, even though you were living life and you were going to work and going to school or whatever, but you felt so alone, and you felt like you wanted this to hurt yourself and hurt others. Like you didn't feel yourself. Like, would you, like, I don't, what would you do? Leave me down in the comments below. Leave it down in the comments below. What would you have done? Or what was that, bro? I don't know. What would you have done? Etc, etc. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed to it yet. Turn on my notifications, that way you are notified each and every time I upload. That means so much to me. Please, and go back and watch my most recent videos. They should be on the end screen, and maybe on here now, not sure. I'm only here to save your Mondays, maybe like a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. It's kind of hard to me working 50 hours a week, but it is what it is, and I'll get back to it. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon.